Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are stripping away the Instagram filter from the concept of remote work. You know, the image I'm talking about, the whole digital nomad
Oh,
lifestyle.
absolutely.
Rah!
The stock photo fantasy. Someone sitting on a pristine white sand beach, laptop balanced precariously on their knees, a coconut with a straw next to them.
Right. And as anyone who's actually tried to send a spreadsheet from a beach knows, the reality is sand in your keyboard, glare on the screen, and, Wi-Fi that drops every time a seagull flies past.
It is the great lie of modern business. The reality, especially for the people we're talking to today, the corporate travelers, the entrepreneurs, the people MoveAndStay.com has been serving for 25 years, is much, much grittier. It's a frantic hunt for a power outlet in a crowded coffee shop.
Or trying to take a confidential Zoom call while the barista is grinding beans at 100 decibels, like 3 feet away from your head.
Exactly. It's friction. And that friction is what we are unpacking today. We've got a fascinating case study out of Tokyo that I think signals a massive shift in how we think about the office. We're looking at ORIX Corporation and their master membership plan for the cross-office brand.
And to set the stage here, we have to look at this through the eyes of the people who actually need it. I mean, we're talking about the move and stay audience.
Mm.
These are professionals connecting with serviced offices, extended stay solutions, all across Asia Pacific. They aren't backpackers. They are people who need to land in a city like Tokyo and be operational, well, immediately.
Right. Move and Stay has been the bridge for these people for over 2 decades. They find the housing, the service departments, but they also find the workspace.
Yeah.
And what ORIX is doing here is effectively rewriting the software for how those professionals interact with the city.
So let's get into the meat of it. ORIX has rolled out this master membership. But before we get to this shiny new object, we have to understand what it's replacing. Because for the longest time, the serviced office model was, well, it was pretty rigid, wasn't it?
Rigid is putting it politely. It was static. The old model was essentially just traditional real estate with a shorter lease and maybe better furniture. You signed a contract for, say, cross-office Shibuya. That was it. That was your kingdom.
So if I'm a consultant and I have a membership in Shibuya, but my client meeting is across town in Roppongi.
You are out of luck. Once you leave Shibuya, you're basically a nomad again. You're back to hunting for that coffee shop in Roppongi to kill an hour between meetings, even though you are paying for a premium office membership. You were geographically locked to your registered base.
Which in a city the size of Tokyo is a massive inefficiency. I mean, Tokyo isn't like other cities where everything is in one downtown core. It's a collection of cities mashed together.
Precisely. And that is the problem ORIX is trying to solve. They're pivoting from selling a desk in a building to selling access to a network. It's a fundamental unbundling of the office.
The source material uses some corporate buzzwords here. They talk about enhancing convenience and fostering intrasite communities. My skepticism radar usually goes off when I hear community used to sell real estate. Is there actual substance to this, or is it just, marketing fluff?
I think there is actual strategic substance here, specifically with how business is done in Japan. ORIX is betting that the value of a service office isn't just the mahogany desk, it's the network of people.
Mm-hmm.
By allowing movement between locations, they're trying to engineer what they call dynamic interactions.
Meaning what, exactly?
Meaning that if you have a tech founder who is based in Shibuya, which is a very youthful, energetic district, and you give them the ability to work out of the Uchisai Waicho office for a day.
Which is much more traditional, right? Very buttoned up corporate.
Exactly. You are physically placing that tech founder in the path of financiers, lawyers, and established corporate players.
Mm.
That cross-pollination creates value. It turns the office pass into a networking tool.
Okay, I see the logic there. It's serendipity as a service. But let's get practical. I'm a move and stay client. I've just landed at Haneda Airport. I've got my service department sorted. Where can I actually work with this pass? What is the geography we're looking at?
At launch, the plan covers 4 primary hubs, and they are very strategically chosen. You've got Uchisei Wacho, Mita, Shinjuku, and Roppongi.
Okay, for the listener who hasn't navigated the Tokyo subway system recently, let's break those down. Why do those specific dots on the map matter?
Well, Shinjuku is the beast. It's the administrative and business heart. If you're doing anything with government or major corporate HQs, you are going to be in Shinjuku. It's chaotic, it's loud, and having a quiet sanctuary there is worth its weight in gold.
And Roppongi.
Roppongi is the international hub. That's where you'll find the foreign embassies, the big tech companies like Google or Goldman Sachs, and the media companies. It has a completely different energy. More global, more English-speaking.
Then you have Mita and Uchisai Waicho.
These are your serious tie-straightening districts. Mita has a lot of academic and industrial history. It's near Keio University. Wichisewacho is right next to Hibiya and the government district. Think old money and power.
And the source mentions an expansion, right? A kind of forward-looking aspect.
Yes, the source notes the addition of cross-office Hibiya, which was scheduled for March 2020. Hibiya is a massive deal. It's very high-end, right next to the Imperial Palace. So the network isn't just static. It's designed to grow into these premium areas.
So effectively, you have the city surrounded. You can wake up, check your calendar, and decide which city within Tokyo you need to be in, and you have a base there.
Exactly. You commute to the work, not to the office.
Okay, let's talk about the part that usually ruins the dream. The price tag. Flexibility usually comes with a massive premium. If I want this kind of freedom, am I paying through the nose for it?
This is where it gets really interesting. The source details a fixed monthly fee of 30,000 yen.
30,000 yen. Let me do some quick mental math. Depending on the exchange rate, that's surprisingly reasonable.
It is aggressively competitive. To put that in perspective, if you worked out of a nice coffee shop in Tokyo every day, buying 3 coffees and maybe a sandwich, you are already approaching that cost.
And here you get ergonomic chairs and secure Wi-Fi.
Right.
But there's always a catch. There have to be fees on top of this, surely.
There's a one-time enrollment fee of 30,000 yen. And this is Japan, so we must never forget the consumption tax. All these figures are pre-tax, so you have to mentally add that 10% on top of everything.
Death, taxes, and hidden fees. Okay. Now, looking at the fine print, this isn't a free-for-all pass, is it? I can't just treat every building like my own personal living room, 2347.
No, and this is a crucial distinction for our listener to understand. The plan relies on a tiered system. You have a primary registered base, and then you have participating bases.
Okay, walk us through a hypothetical day. Let's say I choose Shinjuku as my primary base because it's near my apartment.
Okay, so at Shinjuku, your primary base, you are the king of the castle. You have 247 access. If you need to work until 4 a.m. on a Tuesday or come in on a Sunday afternoon to prep for the week, your keycard works. No questions asked.
Got it. But then on Wednesday, I have meetings in Roppongi.
So you can go to the Roppongi cross office, that's a participating base, but only during business hours. Weekdays, 9:00 p.m.
Ah, so if my meeting in Roppongi runs late.
At 5:01 p.m., you technically turn into a pumpkin. You don't have that 247 clearance at the satellite locations.
That feels like a significant limitation for a master membership. I mean, business in Tokyo often happens after 5:00, dinner meetings, like conference calls with New York or London.
It is a limitation, but, and here is the part that I think makes this plan brilliant, ORIX built a backdoor. There's a flexibility hack explicitly mentioned in the source.
Go on.
For an additional 10,000 yen per month, a member can upgrade their status to register all eligible bases as primary sites.
Wait, so for a total of 40,000 yen plus tax.
You unlock the whole map, 247 access everywhere.
Okay, that changes the calculus completely.
It does. If you are a serious professional, someone Move-Ants they would be placed in, that extra 10,000 yen is a no-brainer. It's the difference between having an office and having a citywide infrastructure.
Right. Because 40,000 yen is still significantly cheaper than renting a dedicated private office in just one of these buildings.
Oh, absolutely. A private serviced office in Roppongi alone could run you triple that, maybe more. So for 40,000 yen, you are effectively getting the utility of 5 offices for a fraction of the price of one.
That is the aha moment. It's about redundancy. If I'm a consultant, the peace of mind knowing that I'm never more than 15 minutes away from a secure professional environment where I can print a document or take a call, that is worth the 10,000 yen upgrade alone.
And let's dwell on that professional environment part for a second. Because when we say co-working, I think a lot of people imagine beanbag chairs, ping pong tables, and free beer on tap.
The WeWork vibe.
Right.
Which is great if you're 22 and launching a startup, but maybe not if you're 45 and managing a crisis for a client.
Exactly. CrossOffice has a different pedigree. The brand was established back in 2009. They positioned themselves as serviced offices, which implies a certain level of decorum. We aren't talking about a frat house. We are talking about a place designed for work.
So what are the actual amenities? If I walk into the Mita location, what do I get for my membership fee?
You get the essentials, of course. Co-working spaces, lounges, secure Wi-Fi, multifunction printers. But the source highlights one amenity that I think is the most valuable feature in the entire package: the phone booth.
A phone booth. It sounds so low-tech. Why are we excited about a phone booth?
Have you ever tried to take a confidential call in Japan?
It's difficult. It's a very quiet society.
It is aggressively quiet. If you answer your phone on the train, you get glared at. If you talk loudly in a cafe, you are being rude. And if you are discussing sensitive move and stay client details or financial figures, you simply cannot do that in an open lounge.
So the phone booth isn't just a luxury, it's an operational necessity.
It's the only way to function.
Ah.
The fact that ORIX highlights privacy tools like phone booths shows they really understand their user. They know their members aren't just sending emails, they are doing deals.
What about the other perks? The source mentions free drinks. Are we talking barista-made lattes or just a water cooler?
It's likely your standard automated coffee and tea stations. But again, unlimited caffeine is the fuel of the modern workforce.
True. But I noticed the source also clarifies what isn't included. This isn't an all-inclusive resort.
Right, you have to pay for the big stuff. Formal conference rooms will incur additional charges. Dedicated lockers cost extra.
That seems fair. If I need a boardroom for 3 hours to present to a board of directors, I should expect to pay for that usage.
Exactly. The membership covers your individual productivity. The add-ons cover your team needs.
I want to circle back to the move and stay connection here because I think this pairs so perfectly with what they do.
It's a symbiotic relationship. I mean, think about the user journey. You contact Move and Stay because you need a place to live in Tokyo for 6 months. They find you a beautiful serviced apartment in, say, Azabu-Juban.
That's your hardware. That's your home base.
Right. But you can't work from your apartment every single day. You'll go crazy or your spouse will kill you. You need a third place. This ORIX plan acts as the software or the operating system for your stay. It layers over your housing to give you a complete lifestyle.
It solves the loneliness problem, too. We talked about that intrasite community. If you are an expat in Tokyo, it can be incredibly isolating.
It can be. And working from a silent apartment is isolating. Going to a cross-office location, even if you don't talk to anyone, it puts you in the flow of commerce. You see other people working, you feel part of the city's rhythm. That psychological benefit is hard to quantify, but it's real.
It effectively gives you colleagues, even if you're a solo entrepreneur.
Yes. And because of the varied locations, you can sort of choose your colleagues for the day. Feel like being around creatives, go to Roppongi. Need to feel serious and disciplined, go to Uchisai Waicho. You can curate your environment to match your mood or your workload.
That's a really interesting point. It's about cognitive matching your workspace to your headspace.
Which is something you simply cannot do with a traditional office lease. In the old model, if you hated the vibe of your office, you were stuck with it for 2 years. Here, you just get on the subway and go somewhere else.
Let's zoom out a bit. Why is ORIX doing this now? The source material is from around late 2019, early 2020. What does this tell us about the trajectory of work in Asia Pacific?
It tells us that efficiency is becoming the dominant metric. Japan has a shrinking population. They have a labor shortage. They cannot afford to have people wasting 2 hours a day commuting to a desk just to sit there.
So this is actually an efficiency play for the entire economy.
Absolutely. It's about decentralization. Instead of funneling millions of people into Chiyoda-ku every morning, you create distributed nodes of productivity. ORIX is building the infrastructure for a distributed workforce.
It reminds me of how cloud computing changed tech. We used to have servers in the basement. Now we just access the cloud.
Okay.
ORIX is trying to turn office space into a cloud utility.
That is the perfect analogy. It's space as a service. And for the learner listening to this, maybe you aren't in Tokyo. Maybe you're in London or New York or Singapore. You should be looking for this. This is the future of how cities will organize themselves.
And if you're a landlord and you aren't offering network access, you are going to fall behind.
You are selling a buggy whip in the age of the Model T. Single-site access is becoming less valuable by the day.
So bringing it all back home, we've covered the locations, the cost, which again, 40K yen for the full pass is a steal, and the philosophy. Is there any downside here? Is there a reason someone wouldn't do this?
I think the only downside is for people who need heavy infrastructure. If you are a video editor who needs 3 monitors and a dedicated server rack, this doesn't work. You can't lug that around the subway. This is for the laptop class.
The light infantry of the business world.
Correct. But for that class of worker, which includes a huge chunk of Move and Stay's clientele, the downsides are minimal compared to the freedom it buys you.
I love that term, the laptop class. It sounds better than digital nomad. It sounds more employed.
It implies you actually have deliverables, yes.
So let's wrap this up with a final synthesis. If you had to summarize the deep dive takeaway for this ORIX Master membership, what is it?
The takeaway is that the definition of the office has fundamentally changed. ORIX has launched a plan that costs roughly 30,000 to 40,000 yen a month that allows you to treat the entire city of Tokyo as your workspace. It prioritizes access over ownership and network over location.
And for our Move and Stay listeners, it's the missing puzzle piece. You get the great apartment, and now you get the key to the city.
Exactly. It removes the friction of doing business in one of the most complex cities in the world.
I want to leave the listener with a thought today. We've talked a lot about logistics and yen and subway stops, but there's a real mindset shift here.
What are you thinking?
We grow up thinking of going to work as a destination. I am going to the office.
Right.
But if your office is a network of 5 or 6 or 10 locations scattered across a metropolis, does going to work stop being a trip you take and start being a state of mind you enter?
That is the question.
Mm.
When the office is everywhere, work becomes something you do, not somewhere you go. And that is a liberating, but also slightly terrifying shift.
It puts the responsibility on you to define the boundaries.
It does. But I'd rather have the freedom to define them myself than have a landlord define them for me.
Amen to that. Well, huge thanks to moveandstay.com for being the inspiration for this deep dive into flexible working. They've been navigating these waters for 25 years, so they know a thing or two about finding the right harbor. If you're looking for your next base in Asia Pacific, check them out. And to ORIX, thanks for making the Tokyo subway map just a little bit more interesting for the working professional.
I'm just looking forward to trying out those phone booths.
I'm sure they are spectacular. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll catch you on the next Deep Dive.
Stay curious.